scientists decided to thoroughly investigate the Chernobyl forest, but what they found there shocked the whole world. On April 25, 1986, in what is now northern Ukraine, the worst nuclear accident in history occurred. A reactor at a nuclear power plant exploded and burned. It was the most tragic moment in the history of nuclear energy today. Almost 40 years after the disaster, scientists estimate that the area around the former nuclear power plant will be uninhabitable for the next 20,000 years. However, despite these terrifying predictions, nature has proven to be much more resilient and adaptable than expected. Due to the disaster, large areas around the nuclear power plant became an exclusion zone where there are practically no people. However, over the past decades, this area has turned into a unique wildlife reserve, one of the largest in the world. Recently, scientists launched a project aimed at learning as much as number of wild boars, wolves, roe deer, and foxes in the Chernobyl forest has increased significantly. In addition, rare animals such as the European lynx and brown bear have been spotted here. Professor Jim Smith of the University of Portsmouth claims that the accident, despite all its terrifying impact on nature, ultimately created a unique reserve. We are not saying that radiation is good, but the absence of human influence has allowed the animal. Welcome to Spa Stories, where the line between the known and the unknown fades, and the shadows whisper truths untold. Tonight, we delve into the primal connection between humans and animals, a bond forged in trust, sometimes fear, and always in mystery. Population to increase many times over in the Chernobyl zone. Very rare European and PR's horses were even caught on camera. These animals feel great here, and their numbers continue to grow every year. According to scientists, there are now 7 times more wolves in the exclusion zone than in nearby reserves. Moreover, some species of birds have begun to return to the exclusion zone, settling near destroyed buildings and numerous trees, which of course no one is cutting down now. This once again confirms that even in conditions of radiation contamination, nature finds ways to survive and reproduce. However, of course, not everything is perfect. For example, researchers have found a decrease in the number of beneficial bacteria and unusual mutations among some species of wildlife. Nevertheless, the absence of human activity around the closed nuclear power plant creates conditions for the thriving of wild animals, which has become a unique phenomenon not only in the Chernobyl region but also around the world. The Chernobyl disaster left many pets without owners who forever left these places. Some pets died while others managed to adapt to life without people. In the Chernobyl zone near the village of Lubian, scientists discovered a unique herd of wild cows, which they have been actively observing for 3 years. These cows manage perfectly well without human intervention. In their lives, the herd consists of descendants of those cows that were left to fend for themselves. They are bulls and cows in the 4th or 5th generation. Due to prolonged life in the wild, a strict hierarchy has been established in the herd. The current main bull is a huge male who lost one eye in battles with predators. He does not drive other bulls out of the herd if they do not touch his females. The bulls act as combat units and help the herd defend against predators. They have learned to protect themselves from wolf packs by forming a tight circle with the cows and cows in the middle. As a result, genes took their toll, and the struggle for survival completely changed the life of former domestic animals. Now, in their way of life, they are much closer to their ancestors, the aurochs, than to ordinary domestic cows. It is amazing that such changes occurred in just a few generations. The last aurochs, the wild ancestor of modern cattle, died in the forests of Poland around 1627. Scientists cannot believe that adapting to life without human owners was quite easy for the cows, and now they perform a very important function in the Chernobyl region, helping to preserve the landscape as they are essentially living lawn mowers. These greatly changed domestic animals have learned to endure even very cold winters by digging through the snow with their hooves to find food and finding shelter in partially destroyed barns. Today, there are about 20 animals in the herd. Domestic herds usually graze in large meadows, but these cows tend to stay mostly at the edges of forests, where it is easier for them to fend off numerous wolves. After seeing all this, scientists came to astonishing conclusions despite severe radiation. Contamination. The area around Chernobyl turned out to be even more comfortable for animals to live in without people, both wild and former domestic ones, than any other area on the planet with human presence. Nature restores and thrives where there is no human interference. This gives us hope that nature can recover even after the most devastating disasters if given a chance. Remember, the next time you hear the rustle of leaves or feel unseen eyes watching, it could be more than just your imagination.